Welcome to GHOSTWATCH2016. The three of us are watching Kamen Rider Ghost. My name is Coriander Dickinson. I've seen some Kamen Rider.
My name is Heather Derry. I have seen some Kamen Rider too.
My name's Kate Stark. I've definitely seen Kamen Rider, but I'm more sure about it than Heather is.
This episode is 24.
Appearance,
the
mysterious
warrior.
Mysterious, not mystery.
Not the mystery
warrior.
No.
Mysterious warrior.
I would like a mystery warrior.
With like an M on
like
it.
Batman, the greatest detective.
Batman's not really that mysterious.
He's a
wearing
mystery
a
warrior,
mask.
though. He
He
fights mysteries.
Just adds the word bat to everything.
That's allowed? Don't kink shame. On last week's episode, there was some Spectre PB/fic. Spectre was an icon the whole time? And then there was a full-blown jacket attack.
Just bursting from the seams.
There's 63 days left.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning there's been like 2 days since Spectre poofed, and they've just been sitting around on their butts.
Maybe it was the weekend.
Maybe they were tired and they slept for a long time.
Maybe it was a public holiday.
They have those in Japan.
Oh, do they?
I'm pretty sure they do. They have a whole week's dedicated to gold.
Gold Week?
Golden Week.
Hmm.
It's mystical.
This week's episode opened on a fair, like an amusement park.
No, it's Octopus Night Ride.
Yes, it was nighttime and there was an octopus ride.
It was at a fair.
And there is something with large feet creeping around inside of a child's play tent.
A very pink one.
It's like castle shaped.
And much too small for this creature to be inside of.
It was doing that like creep that you see video game characters do in barrels and stuff.
And it was even saying, sneak, 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 sneak.
Yeah. And then it like opens up the head flap and shoots out some spears and hits people with them, and then they turn red and into blobs and fly back into the tent.
Yeah, they get like sucked up into it.
And the thing has like a rat face.
It was very creepy looking. But we didn't see much of it because then we were at Snapple HQ.
Yeah, they were discussing how Makoto's body is in Gnome Hell still, and we should get him back, but
Be quiet, because Cannon might hear you talking about how her brother almost died.
yeah, and we really should hurry on that, because last time I was there I saw the photocopier coffins have a guy turn to ash.
QB's in another room painting a teapot and is like, oh, I can paint again? And Akari just slams the door on him.
Oh, yeah, and then he pressed himself up against the door
Yeah.
through the glass, and you could see him looking kind of sad. But they were talking about how bodies are preserved forever in Gnome Hell. Bodies can't die.
Except they can.
Except they
that
totally
one time,
can.
That one time.
When you get told everything is fine, and then your first experience is watching the one time where it's not fine, I don't think you believe that everything is fine.
No. So then we're in Gnome Hell. And was it Brother Emperor is looking over printer space coffins?
Yep. Looking at Makoto
Yep.
like a creeper.
And then we're back in normal world
Down at the waterfront.
with PB. And he has like a Spectre, like death flashback of him going poof.
Just remember that time your friend sacrificed himself for you, and he died, but now you're all scratched up, and you got a scratch in your hand, and you look at the scratch in your hand, and you're like, oh no, a scratch.
I mean, it was a pretty deep cut.
It's very significant for him. It's the first time he's had one.
It also probably looks like he could require stitches, but doesn't know that he needs stitches.
On his face.
And his hand.
From the little scratch on his hand that looks like it was painted on with a red marker.
Look, they don't have a great makeup department. Now I think we're back in Snapple HQ again. QB's painting again.
They're still arguing over, let's go find his body, and then Cannon reveals that she's been listening. It's just like, hey, go ask Pretty Boy. He's my brother's friend. He'd help.
And Taco's all like, no, he wouldn't help. He's in his real body now, and he could die. He's not going to risk himself for anyone.
And then the students run in, and the students are like, oh, we have a case. There's a rat monster. They're hurting people. And then something spectacular happened.
The icon of Goemon
What did it do?
hovers into the room
Uh-huh.
and just slams itself into Onari's head.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened?
Onari's face sprouted makeup.
No.
Yeah.
And then?
And then he pulled up his sleeves and his back sprouted a bow.
Whoa.
A rope bow.
And he got all theater.
Very
All the
dramatic.
time.
I think Akari calls him very dramatic several times throughout this episode.
He's a little much.
Yeah, he got really enthusiastic and big. Lots of hand gestures.
The rolling of the head.
Very theatrical.
Yep. He's got a fan that he uses to gesture with.
Totally different. I mean, I understand why they picked Onari for this, because it's actually quite in his personality to be very over the top, but it was still very funny to see.
Goemon is very interested in the monster rat that the students have talked about, and he calls them Kozo?
Nezumi Kozo.
Yeah, he wants to fight him. Because it must be him.
Nezumi Kozo is another Japanese thief character that is like Robin Hood.
Yeah, we got some historical trivia on Goemon again.
Saying that in theater he's depicted as stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
We cut back to the fair carnival thing. Onari being possessed by Goemon is standing on a roller coaster track?
Yeah, they're walking on roller coasters.
Like kiddie roller coaster.
It is a really small roller coaster,
Yeah.
but it's shot from a really low angle, so it's supposed to look like it's really high up.
And Taco Time is like climbing on it with his hands, like he's not so sure why he's up there. And honestly, I'm not so sure why he's up there.
When they cut out to the wider shot, you can see that Taco's on an incline that is like a foot off the ground.
But like you said, the way they shot it, it looks like it is like 6 feet in the air. It's amazing.
Yeah. And Goemon's giving Taco a lecture about ignoring people's suffering and whatnot. Why wouldn't you try to help whoever you can?
But then Akari runs in and is like, hey, a commotion over there.
And there's just like this massive crowd of people running in the opposite direction. Like the area they were in was completely deserted, and now there's just people.
Yeah,
And
they were in the unpopular section of that fair.
what do? They run towards the commotion, of course. And Rat Monster's there grabbing more people, spearing them and sucking them up into his kitty tent.
I liked this monster when he was in the tent.
Much more than when he was out
he
of
was
the
great.
tent.
They run into the area where all the people are screaming, and the rat monster's behind them in the tent in the back of the shot, like creeping around.
Sneak,
and they're
sneak,
like,
sneak, 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 sneak.
I have no idea where the monster is. It's like 5 feet behind them.
Well, I mean, Goemon figures it out and just like hits him right out of the tent. And then they have a discussion about what this rat monster is, because it's just like, wait, is that a hedgehog? And the monster's like, no, my name is Porcupineroid.
yeah, it's Porcupineroid.
I've been
Your
calling him
favorite Pokemon. I don't know.
I've been calling him Porcupie.
Pork pie.
Pork pie.
Oh, pork pie's
Taco
better.
time and pork pie. From this, we kind of gathered that this was the start of some cross promotion from one of the films.
Yeah,
Because-
it's either from a film or just a Sentai crossover.
I was very confused, and
At the beginning, I was like, that is not a Ganma.
No,
we were like,
it's not a
yeah,
gnome.
it is. It has to be. And then we realized that no, it doesn't have the right face. It
Does
doesn't have
not.
the right costume.
And well, like we saw it now, and it's kind of half red, half black. And I was like, oh, maybe it's one of those prayer room tablet possession things. Maybe it was a gnome.
Well, yeah, because he said that he was a new recruit for
He was recruiting for Shocker.
for Shocker, but the way they wrote the sentence made it sound like he was working for Brother Emperor,
Right.
but I don't think that's the case.
And Taco's all like, oh, Shocker. You work for Shocker too? And it's just like, oh, we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I was really actually quite annoyed at this point because I'm like, it would be one thing if Taco Time didn't know what he was talking about, but he does. We didn't miss an episode. We're missing like a movie or another TV series or something, and that's annoying.
Yeah, that was really annoying because if you don't realize that there's other series or movies, then you're just like, well, I'm an idiot.
So Taco goes to transform, but Goemon is all like, no, this is my fight.
So then Onari untransforms from Goemon, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then Goemon flies out, and then he's like, yo, Taco, use me. So then Taco uses Goemon to transform. And then they fight. Here's the interesting thing. What happened in last week's episode with Necrom? No.
Well, Super Eminem.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Super
Cat-
the Battle Cat.
Battle Cat.
Battle Cat disintegrated all of this stuff, like turned it to rust, and turned Taco's weapon to rust. And so Taco actually says, "Wait, where's my weapon?" And there's like a flashback, and so we realize that his weapon, his
Buster Sword is
Buster
gone.
Sword is legitimately gone.
Yeah, because we figured like maybe once he transformed again, he'd just get back again.
But no. So he's like, "Oh, F, I don't know what to do." And then
Yeah,
he-
when your magical belt gives you a sword out of nowhere, of course you can just get another one.
right? So then Urisen shows up and is like, "You have Sunglasses Slasher."
And he's like, "Oh right, Sunglasses Slasher," because he was already in boost form. He just hadn't pulled it out.
So I guess this means at least we won't see him pulling out the old sword anymore at all. Be kind of nice if he just dropped his old
Unless
first
there's
level
another
transformation.
upgrade that involves, like, level 2 of his orange self.
So Pork Pie asks Taco to take over the world with him.
Yeah, he's like, "You should join Shocker. We can take over the world."
No.
Taco's like, "No, what? No. Why would I do that?"
No.
And so it's like, Taco has just got a new weapon. And we're like, "Oh yeah, now he's just gonna wreck the guy." Nope, comedy chase.
Yeah, with the full comedy music and the pulled out angle of
And just
the quick
real
chase
rapid running.
thing.
Pork Pie is up
Ugh.
on the roller coaster, gets thrown off the roller coaster. This happens for a bit, but we go down to the water and see Pretty Boy.
Well, Pork Pie gets on the pirate ship ride.
Sorry.
Yeah, the boat that
I
goes back and
missed
forth.
that.
Yeah, Pork Pie got on the pirate ship ride, and then there's like an alarm sound, and Taco's like, "See ya."
Yeah, and Porcupie's like, okay, goodbye. Wait, what?
Yeah, real comedy. And then they're like, "Oh man, it's going so fast." Like, there's speed lines and slowed down and screen shake, and then Pork Pie gets thrown off. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could get thrown off that ride like that.
Nope.
And then we go down to the water.
Yes.
And we see Pretty Boy, who is sitting and then gets up because a bunch of generic gnomes start like running towards him, the ones dressed in all black. And he hides behind a pillar. Very obviously they could have seen him.
I heard like spy music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have poor eyesight with the helmets they
But
have.
it sounded like someone in the scene was humming the spy music.
Oh yes, like he was.
Yeah. He's just like,
And he was saying that, "Oh, my brother is desperate to see me dead. I don't have the same power I used to." And he looks at this cut on the back of his hand and he's like, "What is this feeling? I feel fear. I'm afraid to die." And he falls over,
he just like curls up into a little ball.
like up against a wall. But then Cannon walks up and is like, Prince Lion, where are you? Pretty boy. Where are you, my pretty boy?"
Then we snap over to Gnome Hell, where Brother Emperor wants Military Gramps to tell him about the prayer room.
Military Gramps is a good name.
Yeah, I like
Gramps
it.
and military Gramps?
Yeah.
So differentiate, yeah.
Yeah.
Gramps had an interesting explanation of what the prayer room was. It's the epicenter of the world. Only the Emperor can go inside, but the Emperor hasn't had any prayers answered in a long time. So it sounds like it's broken.
And then he's like, "You should ask the Emperor more about this." And Bro's like, "He's dead, remember?"
And literally, Gramps is like, "Oh yeah,
I forgot.
bye."
Yeah, and then Sister Lady is thinking to herself, oh, so Thick Dad's not really dead.
But where is he?
Yeah, where'd he go?
So then we see, like, in a drippy basement-looking place, but still very much in Gnome Hell, we see a live Thick Dad.
Praying on a tiny
Praying.
stool.
But here's the thing. The way the lighting was done, I don't know how to describe how the lighting
There's
was
like
done.
a projection of prison bars on him.
Yeah, sort of. It was like a bunch of lines in a square where he was sitting in the middle of, and I was like, oh, dude's in jail.
Yep.
That's obvious.
He's like in stage theater jail.
Yeah, very much like black box theater. We have no sets. Here is a jail.
Is a projection of a jail. But there's also like these 4 glowing red pillars near him.
Yeah. And so then Brother Emperor comes in. It's like, tell me the point of the prayer chamber. Thick Dad sasses him a bit. So he goes, don't you remember where you are? And he takes an icon and he throws it at Dad, but it bounces off like invisible walls.
It doesn't bounce off. It just smashes.
Does it smash?
Yeah, it just shatters.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh my god, he just killed the man.
Oh my
'Cause
god,
that's
he
an icon.
did. That's a
Yeah,
person.
I don't think
Yeah.
icons are ever
Did he
empty.
just like grab one of his guards on the way down the stairs and then just
Hey,
be like,
come with me for a second?
and smash.
Basically.
You dead now.
But it basically hits an invisible wall that like lights up so you can see it, which confirmed our suspicions that he is indeed
In jail.
in jail.
I really want to talk about the next scene. We're back at the carnival. Onari, Akari, and Taco Time are all riding a merry-go-round on horses for no real reason. And Onari's very upset
He's not upset at all.
Oh, Onari's
He is
having a
thrilled.
great time.
Oh, is he thrilled? I had a hard time figuring out what was going on with him.
He's like, oh my god, Goemon went into my body. Can you believe that? I want
It
that
must
to
be
happen
because
again.
I've been talking to him every day.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He is the one that he's been talking to. And Goemon does possess him again. And he's just like, I don't talk to him. But this is where it really weirds me out. Goemon possessed Onari gets off the horse merry-go-round onto the thing beside it, which is still, I think, a bit of a part of it. And while he continues to talk to Taco Time and Akari, he has his hand on the head of a small child who is in like a cart thing with her mother. And then when he takes his hand off, the mother's just like, come here. And the child's like over there. I'm like, why is this interaction happening? Why? I didn't think there were any people around.
Yep, nope, they're on a like double layer merry-go-round, and there's an outer ring with chariots on it that's spinning at like a different speed. And Taco's like, you and Nezumi Kozo lived in different eras, so why on earth are you obsessed with him? And he's like, oh, you caught me, that was a lie. I was just sick and tired of you wasting your time. The end.
Let me touch a small child's head.
So weird.
Just for, and Taco doesn't even say anything about it. He's just like, we're having this conversation that's real weird to normal people.
I'm talking to a ghost.
Also that, yeah.
Just like, yeah, feel free to possess my friends anytime you want, man.
I'm surprised there wasn't more feedback on that from Akari.
Yeah, like, science.
Yeah, she was like, oh yeah.
I don't think she had
it's
time.
Totally fine that this makeup and bow has magically appeared on my friend, and all of his mannerisms have changed. He's always been a little weird. Now he's just double weird.
She doesn't have a lot of reaction or anything in this episode. I don't think they really had time. She's just around because she's normally there.
So they go off to chase the rat again. And
Well, people panic.
Yeah, people are running again.
And they end up in this area that's like walkways with a lot of pillars, and there's the little child's tent behind a pillar, and they're like, haha! And they're like, we're gonna surround it and kick his butt. And they go, and they're like, you can't hide, and they move the tent, and it's empty. What?
So then Pork Pie runs towards them with a spear, and all of a sudden, a new hot dude shows up.
Just kicks him in the face.
Yes.
He was like, I'm going to stab these people in the back with my spear. And then flying leap kick from a man dressed all in red with a handkerchief and whatnot.
And what is his name?
I just called him Eagle Boy, so I don't actually know.
It's like Zoo Eagle.
I can't pronounce the first name.
Zuzu? Zuzu.
I think it's, okay, Zoo.
What,
We're
like
gonna
as
call him
in...
Zoo Eagle.
He's from an animal-themed Sentai show. His name is Eagle. He's got zoo cubes. I think his name is just Zoo, for like the word zoo. Like you keep animals in.
Wow. I'm just going to keep calling him Eagle Boy.
So basically, we think this dude is, again, more crossover from another series or movie.
Because Taco Time knows who he is.
Oh, yeah, he's
Well,
like, oh.
Akari's all like, who's
this guy?
Who's this guy? And he's like, oh, this is Zoo Eagle. And then they transform together.
Yeah, well, doesn't Iri-san also show up at this point? And he's also like, yeah, he's got like a robot that's real cool.
Yeah.
For
and
some
he's
reason.
like, and he's trying to like explain, he's like, yeah, I use zoo cubes to transform, blah, blah, blah.
And then says, oh, I use the power of animals, Taco, like you use the power of humans. And then everyone, or ghosts. Yeah, it's like everyone's like, oh, yep.
Yeah, and
Makes sense.
Pork Pie gets real mad and is like, hey, stop ignoring me. Let's fight now.
Runs out with a bunch of generic gnomes to fight. Goemon is like, hey, Taco, we should combine. Let's work together here.
Yeah, so he pops out of Onari again. Yeah.
Pops out of Onari into Taco's...
And Onari faints.
Yeah, as he does. pops out of Onari into Taco's giant belt, and then they transform.
Yeah, so Eagle Man uses what's like essentially a Rubik's Cube.
Well, he pulls out like this cell phone with like 9 numbers on it, punches that, and then folds it over, and it turns into this like Rubik's Cube, and he like twists the top layer.
In several ways, and it's like weird. He's very red.
He looks like a Power Ranger.
He's a Red Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Leader Ranger.
They compare weapons for a moment.
Yeah, it's like, hey, look, our swords is so cool. Mine looks kind of like yours, and they're real similar.
Oh,
They do look really similar. It's like where Sunglasses Slasher has sunglasses, Eagle's sword has just cube spots.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, let's go.
Pork Pie summons a bunch of generics of whatever brand he is, like Shocker skeleton people. I don't know. And so it's just Taco like walking up to these guys as his grateful dead persona and just like smashing them.
Yeah, he's way too overpowered for this fight. He does not need Eagle Friend.
It's like Eagle Friend is just at his base level transformation, and Taco just went to like level 100.
I mean, if I had that option, I would always be at 100.
We know that Taco doesn't always make the best choices, though.
No.
Sometimes he goes with that base transformation, even though it doesn't make any sense.
So we leave this fight for a moment, or back down at the water, with Pretty Boy and Cannon, and she's wrapping up his hand cut in a very sweet little handkerchief. And they're eating takoyaki together, which is apparently Pretty Boy's favorite food now.
I think it might be like the second food he ever ate, and he's kind of stuck. Like he maybe wanted another convenience store sandwich.
Wasn't it the first food he ever ate?
No, he had the sandwich first before he had the takoyaki, didn't he?
I don't remember.
No, he had takoyaki. I'm pretty sure he had takoyaki with Fumi, and then the next day he was like hungry again but didn't understand, and then Spectre came up and was like, have a sandwich and milk.
I mean, regardless, if you compare a convenience store sandwich to takoyaki, even if he had those in the other order, I think he'd still prefer takoyaki.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm just saying he doesn't know what his options are.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, he's still wearing his military clothes from Gnome Hell, so I don't think that he even knows he's allowed to change his clothes.
I mean, every time he runs into...
He doesn't have a home.
Or money,
Well,
a job.
I mean, there is
or
all
other
that,
clothes.
but like every time he runs into the Taco Time crew, Snapple crew, they're almost, other than like Akari, like Onari's always wearing the same monk robes. He might think that's an option.
Taco has a different hoodie on every episode.
Taco's wearing a variation of the exact same thing
Yes.
every day.
When you know you have a style, like when you found the thing you want, just buy like 50. Live
Just
the rest
buy
of your
a
life
crate
that way.
of them.
Cannon wants is asking, hey, can you come help my bro? You know, he could use some help, and your friends. Help my bro. Help my bro, dude.
And he's all like, well, I am trapped in this prison of a body, so I might not come back if I go to Gnome Hell.
Oh, we'll just take Taco Time with you.
No.
Look, I'm real worried about you.
You'd rather die than help Taco. For real,
and PB's
though?
all like, looks like he's thinking about it. And then the very normal green Ganma, the very normal green gnome, like exactly what a gnome would look like,
He
jumps down from a ceiling nearby and slashes the table they were eating at and cuts it in two.
And Mafia Gnome, also from a previous episode.
with some generics around him, because I mean, Mafia Gnome needs minions.
Yeah, they all descend as well. And then Pretty Boy does his stupid transformation.
Into Necrom.
And then everybody fights.
And we cut back to the other fight. And Eagle does a transformation.
He gets wings.
Eagle wings.
He picks Pork Pie up into air.
Taco uses Goemon's spider hammer. And Pork Pie gets whipped around a lot. And then Taco is all like, oh, batter's up. And Red is like, keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah, they're trying to be really buddy, and it's weird.
Relatable.
It's real weird.
Yeah, and so he lets Pork Pie go, and Taco slams him with the hammer into the air, I guess, and then Red flies at him in eagle form.
And like slashes him a bunch, I
And they're
guess.
just all like, Beast Unleashed! And then Grateful Omega Drive from the ground.
Not even from the air this time. He's getting
Yeah,
lazy.
he's just like standing on the ground and then he flies into the atmosphere with
Yeah.
his foot on fire.
These two combined attacks were way overkill for this fight. Way overkill.
Pork
and
Pie
then
gets killed.
Pork Pie yells something about the Hell Ambassador, which is probably related to Shocker, and then gets killed. Yes.
This is where Akari's just like, wonder what happened to those people. And then we see another scene elsewhere where people are being returned. And like, yeah, that's the only time we're going to question that.
Yeah, the people that Pork
I
Pie
think they're
stole.
okay. Stole?
Yeah, kidnapped.
Kidnapped? Who knows what he did to them?
Put them in tiny bubbles.
Eagle Boy has to leave now, so he's like, hey, cool, this was fun, okay, bye. And Taco Time's like, yeah, okay, cool, see you never.
So we cut to Pretty Boy as Necrom fighting and getting a little bit wrecked because his Necrom power armor is like disintegrating and turning black, and then he gets smacked and it just like he detransforms.
Cannon then runs up to Taco and he's like, hey, gnomes are attacking Pretty Boy. Can you come help? And Taco thinks about it for a second and is like, yeah, okay. Let's go.
But Goemon's like, are you sure? Are you sure you're going to change your mind about helping this person that you said you didn't want to help before?
And then Taco's like, well, I could fight beside Eagle Boy, and I barely knew him, so I don't know. Yeah, I can help PB.
Yeah, totally the same thing.
Yeah, but I didn't have any grudges
We
against
totally
PB.
just learned a lesson about friendship through our interaction with Eagle Man.
So this is where stuff got really weird.
Onari's still on the ground fainted, and Akari is with him, and is all and like Taco runs off with Cannon, and she's all like, "What? No, I can't leave." And we cut to a rooftop, and there's like a subtitle explaining what this rat monster is.
And a subtitle in a font that does not have anything to do with this show.
It's just like Wurga, another retired
former Shocker thing.
and he's like, "I'm going to recreate Shocker."
And then
Yep.
we cut to another scene, and it's the same weird font, and it says, in a different country, and there's a bunch of gnomes fighting, and we have no idea who any of them are.
They're not gnomes. They're
Or they're whatever
roids,
else.
I'm assuming. They're
Yeah.
Shocker things. And there's a weird, smushy-faced one.
They're at
and
least fighting another Kamen Rider.
They're fighting a Kamen Rider, and he's like, "I'm Kamen Rider Ichigo. He's the first Kamen Rider."
So Ichigo has the words itchy in it, which means one. For your benefit, Kate.
No, I know that.
Okay. It's a terrible pun they've made.
And then it comes
That's
back
not
to
even
the
a pun.
Yeah, you're right.
it comes back to the normal show.
Taco has rolled up in his grateful form to the fight zone and saved PB, and then he's all like, "I'm totally gonna use Goemon."
And then his belt talks to him.
He selects on the roulette Goemon and Robin Hood,
Yeah, we actually get something cool to happen now.
and he hits a button and they pop out in their man forms.
Like actual, not just the jackets, which we were expecting. We thought the jackets would pop out and like slash some people.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, the jackets are pretty good at fighting on their own. They don't
Or I
need
thought they
man
would just be like
forms.
some super combination attack. No, there's just these two dudes out fighting now.
wearing the Goemon and Robin Hood jackets, and they fight alongside Taco. And this is when my favorite thing happened, which is Pretty Boy and Cannon are sitting on some steps, just super casually, just watching this happen. And I'm like, I get that you can't fight, but can you not like leave?
Yeah,
You're
could
in danger.
Yeah,
I think this means that we'll get like a later episode where all 12 jackets come out, like a little
15.
weird army.
15 jackets.
Right, sorry. I'm not here. I'm in the ocean.
okay.
Numbers are different in the ocean. We less than 3.
Now let's talk about their Omega
Yeah, Omega formation.
Arrow Omega formation.
Thief arrow.
Thief arrow Omega formation. So Taco stands there like they've taken out the generics and it's just really normal green gnome and mafia gnome standing there, and so Goemon and Taco and Robin Hood stand in a line and use Omega formation, and basically Taco and Robin Hood shoot an arrow, and then Taco and Goemon do a slash, and it's just like this big finishing move. It's less impressive than like the Grateful Omega Drive was the first time.
Yep. And then here's the spectacular end to the episode where all the gnomes get killed. And then Taco walks over to Pretty Boy and says, I want to talk. And Pretty Boy says, me too.
Da, 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 da. Yeah.
Episode
That was
over.
the end of the
Episode-
episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What after Taco did his thing, all of the icons popped out of his belt again and flew away. But
No,
two of
just
them, two of
the
them,
two.
Well, yeah, two of them flew to Pretty Boy.
Yeah, so he can just take them whenever he wants to transform, it
Yeah.
seems.
It seems like that. He's like, these two are in Pretty Boy's collection, but
We
I
share.
can just call them anytime I want.
So why can't he call them and then have all 15?
I don't know.
Right? That's all he needs.
I
is-
think it's because they would disagree with him in what he wanted to do at that point in time when he was all weird and like,
He
let's
hasn't
do
even
whatever.
had a conversation with Grim and Sanzo. He hasn't talked to them.
No. Interesting ep.
This
Awful
upsets
ep.
me.
I
don't
didn't
like
like
this
this
ep.
ep. It was like, hey, cross promotion. I'm like, I don't care about any of that. Give me content.
I don't like how the enemies looked, like weird mutant
No.
rodents.
The only
Not
thing I really
gnomes.
liked was the I brought out Jacket Men.
I think you found Redmond's attractive.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was nice.
Eagle Boy was hot.
Yeah.
But I also really didn't like the weird over the top comedy. Like they really pushed it real hard this episode.
Because of Goemon.
Yeah, with Goemon.
I really liked Onari's performance, like the actor.
Here's the thing. I don't like Onari.
Yeah.
I don't like the actor. I don't like the character.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
And it's kind of a heavy episode for him too, so
Yeah, and that was just like, and then it was a heavy episode for him, and then it was a heavy episode of just like, here's all this trash cross promotion that doesn't actually advance our story at all.
or
Yep.
make any sense to anyone who doesn't know about the other stuff.
Exactly.
And QB was excited to paint
But
and was
then-
painting a teapot, but then
He gets shut
she
down.
gets shut down.
Akari's pretty much just like she should not have
Attached to
not
people.
bothered
She's
going.
nearly silent this whole episode.
If the next episode is still connected, then the rat monster from the roof is going to attack her while she's alone or something. That's going to be stupid. But maybe the next episode is the movie. I don't know. I'll look it up.
If people want to find us on Twitter,
We're at GHOSTWATCH2016.
but if they want to find us on YouTube,
Ghost Watch.
Goat Watch.
Go.
Ghost.
No, God,
Dude, that's
no.
a different watch.
Yeah. Watch some Ghosts 2016.
Internet website.
GhostWatch2016.xyz.
iTunes.
The podcast is called Ghostwatch 2016.
Donations, if they should feel so inclined.
If you would like to support our podcast, please go visit our website and shove money at PayPal through the donate button.
It helps us out, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we love you people.
Yeah, we like you.
Thanks so much for listening. We will see y'all
Next time.
next time.
Next time.